Real quick, I just wanted to share with you that From Scratch is an independent podcast that is not backed by any investors. If you do enjoy these types of inspirational stories and would like to support the podcast, I will leave a donation link somewhere above or below this video where you can make your donations discreetly and safely. If, on the other hand, you have a business and would like to advertise during one of the episodes, I have 3 types of sponsorship packages that basically fit any type of budget for your business. Any financial contribution is highly appreciated, and I cannot thank you enough for your continued support. But you don't have to donate in order to support the podcast. All you have to do is just simply subscribe and share it with your community so that these meaningful stories will reach a wider audience. Thank you for listening. Now let's go back to the episode. Welcome to From Scratch, the show where our guests talk about their journeys of success and failures. My name is Joko. I'll be your host. And in today's video, we will have Mikayla here. Now, if these stories are something that inspire you and that you find inspiring, feel free to, subscribe, share them with somebody to inspire their day as well. Now, Mikayla, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
Such a pleasure to have you.
I also want to say, I know that this is a brand new podcast, and I have listened to all of the episodes so far that you have on your website, but I've been listening to them, when I'm driving, when I'm gardening.
Mm-hmm.
And because this is a new podcast, I low-key thought I was going to show up to some guy's basement today. That's what I had pictured in my mind. And I stepped in the studio and I was like, the lighting, the couches, the bottles of water. I feel like a celebrity. This is very impressive.
Thank you. That's funny.
Very put together. I was
That
like,
is
okay,
funny.
okay.
Thank you. No, absolutely. And it's funny because when I was putting together the setup and everything, the building landlord, I had the lights. I didn't have the sign or anything, so I just had the couch, the lights, and a couple cameras. So the building landlord comes in, and she's looking at the couch, looking at the lights, at the cameras, and I'm like, no, it's not those type of videos. She's like, oh, I said, I'm
Amazing.
building a podcast, not, no.
I love that. I love that.
But that was funny. I thought I was like, yeah. Hey, nowadays people make money off of anything, if you know what I mean.
Oh, 100%.
So you never know, right?
The American dream is alive and real. You can really be anything you want. You can do anything you want.
Basically,
Make money
yeah.
at it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you're good at it, right?
Absolutely.
Now, Mikayla, you are a photographer,
Yes.
right?
Uh-huh.
So are you a wedding photographer basically only?
I feel like all people who are photographers, or really anyone in the creative realm, I do a mix of things. I mostly focus on weddings, kind of young adult portraiture, whether that's senior portraits, young families,
Gotcha.
couples, engagements, that kind of thing. But I feel like I've done it all. I'm sure you can relate since you also do photo and video. There's people are always coming to you with
Yep.
something new, just
Yep.
hey, I want this to be captured. Can you do this? So
Yes.
yeah,
I dug a little bit deeper into your style. I love it.
thank you.
Very beautiful. But before we get into those specifics, I want to get to know you a little bit better.
Sure.
So let's start when you were little. So tell me about, when you were little, your life as a kid, high school days, your family, where did you grow up, and all the goodies.
Okay, so I grew up kind of around this area. I don't really have a hometown per se. I did grow up in Plainfield, moved around. I now live in Plainfield again. We moved every 2 years growing up. I moved a lot. Honestly, for no good reason. My family's just crazy. I was not in a military family, or a lot of people are oh, is your dad a pastor? No. We just moved every 2 years, It was a hobby for us. And we would never move far. It would literally be within a 15-minute radius of
Really?
Plainfield. Yeah.
Okay.
Besides my senior year, I did move to Tennessee, but that's another story. But basically, we just moved a lot. I was homeschooled. I have a younger brother, so so we were homeschooled, which also was why we could move so much, because we weren't screwing around with school districts and transferring and all that stuff. So yeah, it was a little chaotic, but character development, right? So
Right, absolutely.
and I'm really good at moving. So if you ever need help moving,
You're good at packing.
Oh yeah, I'm amazing. If you ever need a extra set of hands. But yeah, so that was kind of my childhood growing up, a lot of moving around. And I feel like a little bit of a black sheep, not in a bad way, I wasn't crazy or anything like that, but I I come from a family of honestly like very smart people
Okay.
on both sides of my family. Like my mom's side, my dad's side, aunts, uncles, cousins, like very left-brained people, very
So
logical.
analytical,
Yes,
logical.
yes.
Okay.
Like all of my family are, all different kind of big degrees in, science, medicine, tech, that kind of stuff. And I didn't really have anybody in my family who was overly creative the way that I was. So
Okay.
I think as a kid, my parents were just kind of like, oh my God, like, what do we do with her? And also since they were homeschool parents, like, and they're not creative or artsy, there wasn't like an art teacher, there wasn't an
Mm-hmm.
outlet for me. And so, yeah, I struggled a little bit. I kind of felt like I was
Interesting.
the kid that they kind of like, I don't want to say looked down on, but was just kind of like, I mean, honestly, well, maybe at times, like, almost a little embarrassed of, like, oh, what's the family going to think about this? Like, we're going to have a starving artist. It was kind of like that mentality
Yeah.
growing up of just like,
Right.
oh, God, what's she going to do?
As a creative, I mean, now that you are a professional creative, right?
Mhm.
Do you think you've always had that like creative in you where you wanted to express yourself through photography, or did you have another like some people have drawings and then
Yeah.
from drawing they go to coloring and then from coloring they go to like paint or did you or was your like creative roots like photography itself?
Yeah. I was always a very creative kid. I was really into drawing as a kid, and I will give my parents this one thing. They did try to like put me into like art classes, like at art studios and stuff, or with like freelance artists,
Okay.
like when I was a kid. And I was very advanced. Like when I think they started me around like 4 or 5 years old, and I would be in these classes with like 18-year-old kids. Like as I was drawing at that level,
Oh
like I
wow.
was I was really good. I also like played violin for a little bit, but like there was nothing that I was like really like overly serious about. Like
Okay.
like I felt like I was like generally good. Like kind of a lot of like there was potential there, but I wasn't like amazing. Like it was just
Mm-hmm.
like, well, yeah, if I worked really hard, I could be good at this, but there just wasn't something that I was like, this is the thing. I was just generally artsy, creative, whatever. And it was in high school that I started doing pictures, kind of just like fell on it by accident. And I will say that first time I had a photo shoot, that was it. Like I was 14 years old and I
Oh
was like,
wow.
this is what I want to do for the rest of my life. Like, and it was just kind of like my friend and I were like messing around. I'm taking pictures of her, like it wasn't anything overly serious, but I just knew there was, I just want to bring up this one story because this was kind of like a defining moment,
I would
I
love
feel
to
like,
hear
in
it.
my life. So I had been doing photography maybe for like just under a year. This was like sometime in my sophomore year.
Okay.
I had a big friend group in high school that I was super close with, throughout the years of high school. And there was this one girl in the group. She was very shy, very, I do kind of feel like she had like a little bit of like a low self esteem.
Okay.
She maybe was not like the type of person who you would say at that time was like objectively beautiful or like, what, like, but I loved her. And I always thought like, she's just the prettiest girl. She just doesn't see it. Like, I just thought she was so beautiful. And so I asked her, like, hey, can I take your pictures one day? Again, just for fun.
Right.
I'm still learning, I'm practicing. So I took her pictures, sent her the pictures. And her mom sent my mom a message that my mom showed to me. And it was a very long message, but it basically kind of said, like, hey, I don't know what happened during that photo shoot that Mikayla had with my daughter. Like, I don't know what she said to her. I don't know what she did. I mean, the pictures are amazing, but like, I feel like you returned a different girl to me. Like, this
Wow.
is not the same person. Like, in the best way. She's
Right.
like,
Right.
I have never seen my daughter so excited about pictures of herself. She has been dressing up. She wants to go out. And I will say, after that day, it was like some sort of like light bulb moment, I think, for her. Like, I would like to hope that maybe I kind of helped her to see like just how pretty she really was, like
Mm-hmm.
just helped her view herself in a different light. But she really became so much more like outgoing in the friend group after that, like so much more confident. And that message was just like really touching, like from her mom. And I remember like another time I saw her mom, like her literally just like crying and hugging me and being like, thank you for this. And like, I think that was a big thing for me of like, if I can just give one more person a sliver of that, that's my purpose. Like that is what I'm here to do. And I really have tried to live my life in a way where like everything I do and I touch is beautiful and seen that way.
That
And
is
yeah.
that is absolutely the root and why we do the things we do, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because if you can touch somebody's life like that, right? So
Yeah.
it fuels you. Okay, so this person, check. We've got 7 more billion people.
Sure.
Let's line them up, right?
Totally, totally.
So
Yeah.
that is quite the story. No, I
Yeah.
love that.
Yeah. And I know it's like some people could be like, well, that's kind of shallow. Like, I'm not trying to pretend I'm
No,
like a doctor out here, like saving lives, but like, even if it's like a little bit of a positive difference I can make in someone's life, I'm like, I'm here
absolutely,
for it. Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Now you did say that you were amongst a bigger group of
Hmm.
friends. Were you, apart from your family, from that group, were you also the only creative in that group, or did you also have other friends that?
No, you know what? I feel like a lot of my friends were also creative
Okay.
in different ways. I never had like another like photography friend like
Mm-hmm.
in that group or anything, but a lot of them were, and again, we're like in high school, so a lot of
Right.
them are, in like theater or art or music, band, like whatever. So I definitely kind of had that circle to
What was a
encourage me.
typical day back then? Like a
Mm.
typical fun day. Let's do that. A typical fun day during high
Well, I
school.
mean, I kind of grew up like in the country, so I guess it's kind of like hillbilly stuff.
Lay it
I
on
mean,
me.
I don't know, just like bonfires, like tubing down the river, like backyard parties, that kind of stuff. Just
Mostly with friends.
oh yeah, I
Yeah.
was always with friends, always with friends.
And you said you had a younger brother.
I do, yeah.
Did he like to hang out with you, or is he way younger?
No, he's only a few years younger than me.
Okay.
But I swear, and we get along great, by the way. Like, we're not enemies, but we're just like completely different people. He's like a hermit. Like,
Okay.
does still to this day, always has been like very shy, does not
Yep.
want to be around people. So
Yeah.
I'm
Okay.
a little more extroverted. He's very introverted.
You're an extroverted photographer.
Mm,
Okay.
well, actually, no, I lied. How do I say this? I am actually like more of an introvert, but I
Mm-hmm.
become extroverted for my job. I think I have to.
That's why I was surprised at first because yes, I'm like that too.
Yeah.
So I feel like we are introverts, but then when you connect with somebody, it's like it's a switch. It automatically goes
Yeah.
from introvert to boom, like I'm the most interesting person now in the world. You know what
Totally.
I mean? So like,
Totally. Yeah, that's definitely me. And it's funny cuz like let's say like when I shoot a big wedding or whatever all day, I'm like on like
hmm
all day long, and then the second I get in my car, I just sit in silence for like 10 minutes
been
and I'm
there,
like recharge.
been there. Yep.
Yeah.
Now I'm sure there has been also some moments that defined and like kind of shaped your thought process.
Mhm.
Can you share some of those moments?
I'm just like, how personal do you want to get? I don't want to make anyone uncomfortable, but I mean, I think some defining moments for me, and I can't honestly just pick one, so I will just kind of like summarize
Mm-hmm.
them.
Mm-hmm.
I think from a very early age, I just had to learn to trust my purpose, to trust God. Like, I was given this talent for a reason. I just have to use it. I had to learn how to believe in myself when nobody else did. And by the way, I want to preface this with this was not everybody in my life. I did have supportive friends. I had supportive family, but I would say some of the people who were closest to me, particularly family, did not believe in me. And I think a lot of that goes back to what I was talking about earlier of like, that's just not the type of family that I came from. And I think everybody kind of viewed me as just like this hopeless artist, I'm just going to be starving and on the street the rest of my life, like almost like an embarrassment, like
Mm-hmm.
to the family. They were very upset when I told them I was like not going to, you know, go run
Mm-hmm.
off and get a PhD or master's or whatever like everybody else did. And
Right.
I was not going to do what they had hoped for me. I think they had a very specific picture of what they wanted me to grow up and be,
Right.
as to be fair, I think every parent does, but it
Absolutely.
just
Yeah.
wasn't who I was.
Mm-hmm.
And I just had to kind of trust my gut and go with it. I remember I just had some really mean things said to me along the way. I mean, it was just almost every day of my life was just constant lectures about like, you're never going to be as good as your small town competition. No one's going to pay you that. You're not that talented. You're not as talented as you think you are. I hope you find a rich man who will support you one day because you're never going to be able to do anything. Like, it was just that
Right.
constantly. And so anyway, I moved out when I was 18 and everything was great. So,
And
moved
we
out
end the
on my
podcast.
birthday and bye. A little cut guy. Yeah. So so there was a lot of like those like little moments throughout the days that really just kind of piled up, and I was like,
I'll
I don't know,
show you.
failure is not an option.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
just kind of like, I am going to do this. I had no doubt in myself that this was what I was supposed to do.
Becoming a creative. was obviously one your biggest dream, if not
Yeah.
the dream, right?
Yeah.
Did you have any other dreams besides that you were like, you know what, if this doesn't work out, I'll do plan B?
I want to say it was like shortly after I moved out. And by the way, I mean, I was literally making no money. Like, I was doing this full time, but I was making no money.
Mm-hmm.
I was very blessed. I was so blessed. There, I was like renting rooms from like, some friends of mine for like literally nothing, but I was not making any money. And so I remember like the first couple years that I was like living like on my own, but like renting from friends, right? And I was like, man, like, is this ever gonna get better? Like, when am I gonna start making money? Because I'm literally pouring my soul into this, And like, I remember like there was like maybe for the period of a year, like where I went on like some different job interviews just from like whatever I could find online of all the
Mm-hmm.
random anything, not
Mm-hmm.
not creative based. And I so like they'd kind of like get in my head in that way, and I'd go on these interviews and I'd get a call back like next couple of days like, oh, you got the job, and then I would just be like, oh, thank you. I actually changed my mind. I'm like, what am I doing? Like, like I think
That
my
is,
soul
yeah.
just knew, like, Mikayla, you don't need that job. Like, it's gonna be fine. It's gonna pan out. Just like, give it a little more time. So
Yeah.
yeah. So there was moments, but like, it was never like a real backup plan, if that made sense.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. How did you manage to survive knowing that, okay, I'm not making money with photography yet? How was that?
I mean, I was making enough. Like,
Oh,
I
to
was making
cover.
enough to like pay my very, very minuscule like rent bill that my friends
Right.
were. I mean, they were not charging me like a normal rent payment because they were angels, God bless them. And I mean, I could pay for like my insurance and my food, like all like the
Right.
necessary things. Like I never had to go into debt or anything like that. But it was definitely not like enough to live on, like by
Mm-hmm.
myself, if that makes sense. Like for sure, not like real living costs,
Mm-hmm.
or income, I should say. It was, I wasn't ever a partier. I didn't do a bunch of crazy things, or the things that I did do that may have looked from the outside like, oh my God, she's really living it up. Like, I did go on vacation a lot, but it was paid for. Like, I didn't pay for that with my money. Like, people were hiring me to fly out or like, come here, we'll pay your travel costs, or hey, you can couch surf with us. It was that kind of thing. So it's not
Mm-hmm.
like I was, even when I was doing things in my like earlier 20s, it's not like I was staying at these 5-star hotels and flying first class. And, like it was, I was like, how can I do this on a,
Right.
on a
Right.
no budget?
Right. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I got creative with it for sure.
So, as a photographer, who bought your first camera?
I
Was it
did.
a gift or did you buy it yourself?
No, I bought it with like my babysitting money at the time, and I literally bought all of my gear. Everything. Actually, no, I'm sorry. There was one year, I think I was 15 or 16. My parents bought me a camera. One of my best friends to this day is/was like my photography mentor. Like
Okay.
like from the time I was like a teenager. I just had like a point and shoot, like very basic like camera at the time, and she was selling one of her cameras. It was like right before Christmas, and I was telling my mom and dad, I was like, hey, I think I'm gonna buy her camera. I just saw her posted on Facebook. I don't want to snatch it up. And they just kind of like looked at each other because like it had been posted for like a couple days, and they like went in their closet and just was like, yeah, here's your Christmas present. We already bought you this.
Oh,
Like,
that's
so
so
it was
cool.
really sweet. She was selling
That
it
was
for
so
like, it was
cool.
super cheap, like $100 or something maybe.
Right.
So that they did gift me that, which was really sweet. But otherwise, I've bought all of my gear. And it was literally just starting with like one piece of equipment and working my way up. And I will tell you, like, when I say I started from the bottom, I shot my first wedding by myself. I had been mentoring for about a year with a couple local photographers doing weddings, like being their second shooter or their assistant. I did my first wedding all by myself when I was 15 years old, which looking back, I'm like, I'm sorry, I don't care how talented you are. I would never hire a 15-year-old to do anything for me. Like, I don't care who you are. But God bless the people who had, the faith in
Right.
me
That gave you a chance,
and the
right?
opportunity, right? But I literally rode my bike to this wedding
That
with my
is.
little backpack filled with all my camera gear because like I couldn't drive. I didn't even have my permit at the time.
And when you say camera gear, camera, lens, and two batteries,
Yes,
probably.
yes. And I think a flash. I think I had a flash. And
Okay.
honestly, I don't even think I really knew how to use it, but I was
Right.
like, whatever, we're going to go with it.
We'll figure it out.
We'll figure it out, yeah. So I'm like, can't mess it up that bad. I'm 15, right? What did they really expect? I'm kidding.
Wow.
But yeah, so I mean, I really like just did whatever
Yeah.
I could, and it was kind of like a snowball effect from there.
What was going through your mind? You're like on your bike going to the wedding. You're probably pre-planning, okay, I'll have them move like that, adjust them like
Yes.
here,
Oh,
right?
totally. It was so funny because, like, this was, of course, long before social media, before Pinterest, like all these things, right? Like where you can look up pose ideas or like
Mm-hmm.
TikToks of how to pose people. So yeah, I remember like in my brain, like going there, I'd be mentally thinking like, okay, or sometimes I'd even make like a list
Mm-hmm.
of like, I'd write out the poses I wanted to have them do. Cause I'm like, okay, if I get nervous and I forget, I'll just look at the list, but
Right.
I would literally have to like Google image search, like wedding poses or like what, and it's like, like the worst, most like cringy pictures that come up is just absolutely horrific.
Did anybody give you a hard time? Because I know, like, you know, people like to bully, right?
I'm happy. I'm the age that I am now doing what I'm doing. It was hard doing this as a teenager, or even in my early 20s. Like, oh my God, countless times people gave me problems. And it was never like the people I was working for. And I'm just going to use like
Mm-hmm.
weddings as an example. But I mean,
Right.
this would happen during portrait sessions or
Oh,
whatever,
yeah.
the couple who hired me never had an issue. They were like, we've seen you work. We have worked with you. We have references. Like, we trust you. But a lot of times, like, I would show up and I can't completely fault the people who had, you know, these thoughts in their head, but like they would give me a hard time seeing, like, I don't think I was who they expected to show up, like this
Okay.
literally
In
like
what way?
a child,
Oh, okay,
like
yeah.
coming to be responsible for this like whole event, right? And so yeah, I had so many like, parents of the bride or this person or that person, Uncle Bob, whatever, just being like, come the end of the day, I did my job, everything went smoothly, and the parents are maybe the ones who are paying me. And I mean, I literally had people try to withhold money from me, just being like,
Really?
I don't think you deserve this much. Like, I think this is ridiculous that we're paying, it was a
Mm-hmm.
lot of that. Like, and I just really had to learn to be super strong and stand my ground and be like, well, the contract says, or if you
Right.
would like to put me to pull the couple aside and have them pay me since they hired me, I mean, that's fine too, but yeah, I mean, definitely had people, give me a hard time. Or I remember like another one of the first weddings that I had done on my own. I think I was like 17. I remember it was like sometime during the reception. I think for some reason, like the mother of the bride had the rings. And I was like, hey, like, can I borrow the rings to go take pictures of them? Very standard picture for a wedding day. Everybody wants a picture of just the rings.
Right.
This woman like literally would not give me the rings. She thought I was going to steal them and like run home with them. And I was like, ma'am, I promise I'm not here to steal anything. Like, you have my address, you have all of my contact information. Like, it's fine. Like, you can trust me. But yeah, just like stuff like that.
Wow.
Kind of wild.
You started young. You did your first wedding very young and everything. But do you recall the actual moment when you were like, okay, I've got my camera, I just did my wedding, I'm doing this for a living? And when you told your parents or when your family that, you know what, like this is what I'm good at, did you ever actually have a talk with them like that?
Ooh, you got my mind thinking. I feel like I did. I don't really know how formal it was per se. If it was like, everyone sit down, I have
Right,
an
right.
announcement to make.
No,
Like,
no,
I
no, no,
don't know that
no,
it was
no.
like that. But I mean, I think for sure, like, I had definitely made like plenty of comments, like, yeah, it's what I want to do forever. Like, yeah, this,
Right.
I'm going to do this. Like, this, or I would say like as a teen, this is my job, and sometimes they'd be like, well, it's not a job. I'm like, it's a job. I'm making money from it. Like, I'm making a lot more than I would make if I was,
No, yeah.
working at the grocery store down the street or like whatever it was.
Right.
But nobody really, I don't think really took it seriously. They were just like, yeah, it's a hobby. I really believe that like we were put here with a purpose, every single one of us, a special talent for a reason. Like, I don't think it's to be wasted. I think like we are supposed to use what we've been just naturally given and what we're good at. And I will also say, like, there's also people who are like, well, I don't have the money to start a bit. You don't need to be a millionaire to start a business. Like, bro, if I could do it at like 14 years old, okay, like, and it's not about being the best or having every little duck in a row. Like, again, just start, just do something.
Can you walk me through one of those middle days? What was a typical day back then like? So this is like, what, a decade ago?
Yeah, I was a workaholic. I kind of had to. I feel like every business owner is to some extent, or during some phase of their business. I do actually have a side job
Okay.
that I've also had since high school. I went to cosmetology school during high school.
Okay.
It was always just something I was interested in. Never was going to be. I just always knew it was never going to be like my full-time thing, but I just enjoyed it. And still to this day, I do that as a very, 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 very side job. I do a lot of like bridal hair and makeup, like styling, makeup,
Okay.
like that kind of stuff, like for like fun events and whatever. And I was doing it at that time too. I was working in a salon at the time. I was working 35 hours a week at a salon and then doing photography. I don't even know how many hours a week, just every waking second of my being, basically, and like, yeah, I was kind of like finishing up some schooling at that time, just others. Like, I literally had no life for a while. So that's kind of where I was. Like, there was a lot of events I had to say no to, whether it was parties or get togethers, because I was just work, hustle culture. Not that way anymore. I've learned how to like balance myself now.
Right.
But and also because, like I said before, failure was no option, and I was living on my own. I made the decision to move out. I had to figure it out and figure out how to make money. Like, there was no one to help me. Like,
Right.
like I was on my own. And I feel like I kind of learned how to like really like slow down more honestly recently. Around a decade ago, I bought my own house when I was 21. And again, a few years prior
Wow.
to that was making like literally no money. So there was just kind of like this really steep incline all of a sudden, with income at some point, just based on like different like mentorships I'd invested in of like, how to run my business better, whatever. When everybody saw this happening, like, oh my God, she bought a house at 21. I kind of got a lot of hate. I got a lot of comments of like, oh, must be nice. Or, oh, did mommy and daddy buy that for you? Or, oh, did you have help with the down payment? Oh, like nobody really saw, I think, like what I was really doing behind the scenes, and I
Wow.
think a lot of people get that. I think like, you see the highlight reel on social media, right? Like you see the fun stuff, but you don't really see what's happening behind the scenes. And I think I definitely experienced that. There's no way
Right.
she's making all this money from her hobby, or like whatever it was.
How did you deal
Growing
with
point.
those haters?
Okay, you want to think I'm a drug dealer? Okay. Like, go ahead.
Okay.
Sure. Sure. Think I'm doing whatever for money. Like, okay. You can think whatever you want. Like, I really
Right.
wasn't bothered because I was like,
Right.
I know how hard I work.
It affects a lot of people. Like, I
Yeah.
mean, sometimes I do get affected by negative comments and negative,
Yeah.
downplay.
Mm-hmm.
But then I'm like, brush off,
Yeah.
move on, right?
Yeah. And especially like, and I'm a big people pleaser. I'm a very sensitive person. So I took a lot of that stuff a lot more personally
Right.
then, than I do now. And I think honestly recently, like within the last several years, I truly have learned like what it means. Like when people are like, oh, when people say, hurtful things, it's really about them, not about you. And I'm like, no, it is about me. They're saying it about me. Or like what they
Right.
think about, no, it really is about them. It's just, they're not in my position. They can't understand. They didn't see all the work behind the scenes. It's just ignorance. They just don't know. And that's okay.
Absolutely. I know you didn't, but did you ever feel like quitting? Like, it's too much.
You know what? I really didn't. Like, honestly, like, I really feel like from that early on time, again, like, first couple photo shoots I ever did, I really truly felt like this is my soul's purpose and nothing will get in the way of this.
I love it.
And like I said, I did have those, few random, like, job interviews that I'd go on. But the second I would go on them, I'm like, I can't even do this for a week. Like, I don't want, not because I couldn't, because I didn't want to. I was like, hey, this is not going anywhere for me. I have no passion in, like, no. Like, I just knew, this is what I will do forever. And I really just had to say like hyper focused on, I just got to
Right.
figure out how to actually be good at it and make money at it,
Right, right,
and
right,
all
right.
that. But yeah, I think I just knew like, I like taking care of people. And I feel like this is a way for me to like really take care of people.
We didn't talk as much about obstacles besides the financial and the family. Did you have any other obstacles that hindered you from doing your photography dream?
Ooh, I don't really know that I did. Sorry if that's like a
No,
boring answer. It's a good
no,
question.
no,
But
it's
I don't
not.
know. I think the only hard thing was just kind of, the, yeah, maybe some little bit of finances or like family stuff, just naysayers, but
Right.
otherwise not too much, no.
The typical
I
get
think
a
I'm just
real
too
job
like,
thing
too
comments.
bullheaded, yeah.
Mm. No,
Yeah.
it makes sense.
Yeah.
It,
And
it
maybe it
really
helps
does.
me that I did start it at such a young age, because like I said, I was like literally 14 and like, so maybe it did help that like, I wasn't like, like many people who are like, you grow up, you have this job and a whole family, like all these responsibilities. And then you're like, well, now I can't start something because like I have too much responsibility or like
Right,
whatever.
right,
Right.
right,
So
right.
maybe it did kind of help me that I did just go into it super young while I had a lot of opportunities, and freedom.
So when did you start doing going with other photographers, like shadowing, second
Yeah.
shooter? Can you give me like a just like
So
a way vague, you know what I mean?
no, totally. I'm trying to think of like the timeline of things.
Mm-hmm.
So when I was 14, kind of how this all started
Right.
slash spiraled, I should say, was I took some pictures of a friend
Right.
for like a school project.
Right.
Anyway, I like had shared those photos and immediately
Positive
people were
feedback.
like, "Oh, can you take pictures of me?" I think it was only by like my second or third photo shoot, again with my like Kodak EasyShare camera, like not a real camera, absolutely like horrific photographs that I was putting out there. I started having strangers call me of like, "Oh, I saw you photographed so and so," and she gave me your number. I was, this is how I know her, blah blah blah. And it just started like that. And so then I was like, okay, I guess I'll charge like $10 for a photo shoot. Like I'm like a
Right.
child, so I'm like, I don't know what you charge for a photo shoot or like whatever. So it all kind of started like that. I want to say about maybe like 6 months to a year in, I knew of a couple local photographers and I had just like reached out to them on their social medias and basically was just like fangirling super hard and was like, "Hi, I know this is super random, but I really love your work. And if I literally was like, I think I said to them, I was like, if you ever want like a coffee, bitch, I would love to help you if I can just like watch you work, if that's okay."
Oh,
And
that's
by the
funny.
grace of God, like,
That
like
is
a lot of
funny.
them just like reached back out and they were so kind and were like, "Oh my God, just come with me. I'll teach you whatever you want to know. You can just help me out and be my second shooter." And that's kind of how it went from there. I just like look back and I'm like, wow, like, and I think I've learned just through the process of like being a business owner in general, like people are actually way more willing to help you than you would think. Like just out of the kindness of their heart. Like I think good people want to see other good people like do well. Like they really
Mm-hmm.
do want to help them. So like that's how I learned. And kind of going back to the story about me like riding my bike to my first wedding.
Yes.
Listen, I think my parents love me. Like looking back at some of the stuff they let happen to me, I'm like, oh my God, like thank God I never like died. I guess it just wasn't my time. Again, I could not
Uh,
drive. I had no car. Like I don't even have my permit yet. Literally for like 2 or 3 years, I would just have strangers off the internet pick me up at my house and take me on a photo shoot. Like people I do not know at all, like reaching out through Facebook and like and to get to whatever location and be like they'd like put down their deposit and contract with me and then I'd break the news like, "Yeah, by the way, so I'm 15 and I don't have a car or a license, so can you
that
pick me
is
up
funny.
at my parents' house?" And they would be like, "Okay." Thank God, like no like weird people.
Right.
Like yeah,
Right.
it usually was just like some mom and her kids I was photographing or whatever. So they'd like just like I'd be like, "Okay, now we're gonna go here and just I'll tell you where to go, where to turn," or like whatever. And like
So
I mean,
funny.
I like honestly thank God I was like literally never kidnapped or nothing bad ever happened to me.
Oh my God.
But yeah, I'm like, "Mom and Dad, like, how did you just let me go with strangers?"
Have you asked them that, by the way?
The reason they didn't drive me was they would just always complain. Like they're
Mm.
like, "Oh my God, we're not here to drive you all over God's green earth." That was like what they would always say. So I was like, okay, well, I mean, I got to get there somehow.
Yeah.
And my parents also kind of expected me to have a job during high school. So I'm like,
Okay.
okay, well, like, if this is how it's going to work, it's how it's going to work. I'm going to just
Work
figure it
and
out.
yeah.
So,
Move out and
yeah.
is that when you decided to move out?
No, this was like earlier. This was
Okay, that
still
was
when I was like
earlier.
14,
Okay.
15,
Okay.
Yeah, I was always kind of just expected to figure
Right.
it out.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Now, in retrospect, with everything that you've been through, how does it feel now?
It feels great. I'm so happy. I'm happy that I just listened to my heart and did what I felt like I was supposed to do. And that I didn't let other people and their opinions and insecurities drag me down. Even though I'm sure a lot of those like came from a good place of like,
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure like my parents didn't want to see me struggle or what, like I understand that. But yeah, like I'm glad I just kind of followed my intuition. I was like, no, this is my purpose. This is what I was meant to do. And I'm glad I just went for it, even if it was kind of sloppy along the way. It was kind of chaotic in the beginning. I've had some moments that I'm like, ooh, wish I could have done that differently or said that,
Like
been a better
what?
community. But it's a learning experience.
Yeah,
And I
that's
was a
true.
kid like when I
That is
started.
true.
So we all go through things like that, I think, where, definitely less than perfect moments.
Is this what you envisioned success would look like?
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really think so. I feel like little girls dream about like their wedding day or this or that.
Okay.
I felt like I dreamed about my house. Like since I was a little kid, I always like I wanted an old house that I would make my own, and I did that. Like I bought this 3-story Victorian. It was a fixer upper, and it is like my little vintage castle filled with
Nice.
all of my weird, creepy antiques. um, and
Creepy.
my cat, who's my best friend, and we spend all of our time together. And now my husband, I do love him too.
There you go. There you go. He's
um,
part in that mix
yeah,
somewhere, right?
he's in the mix. No, I'm kidding. No, he's wonderful. He's like the best. But yeah, like I feel like, oh man, if I could just like go back like to like my teenage self or even like early 20s, just I would just be like, just keep going. Just keep going, just how you're going. It's all gonna work out. Like I feel so blessed. I feel like I have such deep connected relationships. And not even just with my friends, but with my clients, like the
Mm-hmm.
people I've worked for years and years. Like it really is such a personal job in a good way. Like you really get to know the people, you know, that you're working for. And I really feel like a lot of them like are my friends at this point too, you know, like
Yep.
such good relationships. I'm really happy with my work-life balance. I'm happy with like where I live, you know, like my marriage, it's great. And traveling, like I feel like this job just allows me so much freedom to literally just do whatever the heck I want to do, you know, and like I'm happy that I started so early so I could also be here so early, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, it's just it's a good life so far.
No,
So, you know, and of course
absolutely.
it has its moments, everybody's life does, but overall it's been good. But I will say though, it did not happen by accident. I really spent a lot of time curating what I have now, you know.
So it's a lot of studying, a lot of
Yeah.
sacrifice,
Yeah.
one
And
way or
it's
another.
funny, one of my friends and I were actually really like just recently having this talk cuz like I said I'm about to turn 30 in a few days and one of my friends was like, so like how are your 20s like looking back, you know? And I feel like I was so opposite of everyone else in my 20s. Like again, almost like
Right.
I feel like most people in their 20s, not everybody, but a lot of people, it's like party and free spirit and do whatever and like mess up a whole bunch and like just have a bunch of wild nights and whatever. And like mine was like a military drill. Mine was like a scheduled calendar, like very intentional of like, I mean, from the time I moved out at 18, I was like, this is what I want my
Mm.
life to look like at 30, you know, or like by the time I get here, I want to boop, 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 you know, like it was just so calculated. And in a way, it's great to have everything I want. You're like, life's good. But now sometimes
Mm.
I'm like, okay, so now what? Or like, you know, like sometimes like, I was
Like
telling
check.
my friend, I like look back, I'm like, you know what? Like, I think I still like could have been responsible and had like a little more fun. Like, you know, like nothing like too crazy, but like I could have lived a little bit more. Like, I could have had some more regretful wild party nights or something. I don't know. Like,
Right.
like that probably would have been okay. I wouldn't have died. You
Do
know.
you think though that comes with every stage of life?
Mm.
Because I
Like
mean,
regrets or what? Like, what
not
do you mean?
regrets that I would have
Oh, for sure,
moments.
for
You know
sure.
what I mean?
Yeah,
So like looking back at your 20s,
yeah,
like when you're at your 40s, you were probably at your 30, looking back at your 30s, be like, yeah, I would have done that. But I
yeah.
feel like we do what we really want to do now.
That's true. That's true.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, yeah.
Because
And overall, I'm happy. I'm like, if my biggest regret was that,
absolutely.
like, I don't know, I didn't spend enough nights at the club or something, like, oh well, like, it's fine. I had a couple of those, it's fine. But, like,
Right.
you know, yeah. But no, I mean, I'm
That
sure.
is
And I
funny.
think that's everybody, you know, and I'll use, like, kids as an example. You know, like, you hear a lot of people, oh, I wish I would have had kids. And then you hear a lot of people, oh, I wish I wouldn't have had kids. I wish I would have lived it up. Or, like, what, like, yeah. So, like, I think there's always going to be that what if, or,
Hmm.
you know.
If we would have done things differently, we
Hmm.
wouldn't have been in.
That's true. We wouldn't have been who we
No.
became.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everything happens for a reason, as
Yeah.
they say. Like
Although I
it
will say,
progresses.
one thing I wish I would have had, maybe in my like way younger days,
Is
a real job with a uniform. I don't know why.
a real job
I
with a
always thought it was
uniform.
so cool. Like, I don't care if you work at McDonald's, you have
Okay.
an official uniform. I think that's great. I
That
always wanted a
is.
uniform. I don't have a uniform. I wanted to feel like a part of something, you know, because it's just like me,
Yeah, as
myself,
a
and I my whole
team.
life.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So maybe I'll like buy myself a name tag to like feel official. Be like, hello,
Yeah.
I've arrived.
Like overalls, you know.
I mean, I kind of feel like my uniform is like my camera hanging around my neck, and I
Right.
have like a giant fanny pack that like
Okay.
holds like multiple lenses and like clips in cameras. So I'm like, I guess that's kind of official. People can tell who I am when I show up somewhere. But like, God, I would love to just like have a shirt and like a pair of slacks, and I'm like, yes, everyone wears this. And it's funny. One of like kind of like friend or like acquaintance, like she's like get into photography, and she asked me one time, she's like, okay, so like, is it like a thing that like is it like this unspoken rule that all vendors wear black? And I was like, no, where'd you get that from? And then I looked in my closet and I was like, oh my God, yeah, I guess we do all wear black to weddings, like weddings specifically. So
Right.
I'm like, maybe black is a uniform, but that in itself.
So you don't stand out, kind of, I feel
Yeah,
like. You know
yeah.
what I mean?
Although,
Yeah.
listen, if I know the colors, like the color palette of my couple's wedding, or if I know if there, I love a good theme. So
Right.
if there's a theme, I will ask them like, can I dress to your theme? Do you care? Because I have so many cute outfits in my closet that I
Yeah.
barely ever wear. So I'm like, I gotta bust these out eventually. You know?
Exactly.
Yeah. So sometimes I'm like, can I like break my little uniform?
Do you feel like there is like a common message, like a common advice that you would give somebody if say a 14-year-old kid comes up to you and like, hey, Mikayla, I want to be a photographer. Like, what would you tell me?
Just dip your toe in the water. If all you have is your iPhone camera, use that. Honestly, that's way better than what I started with, quite frankly. Like the quality, like just use what you have. It's okay if you don't know how to edit. That's fine. Use the filters on your phone.
Yeah.
Like, ask your friends to model for you. You do have to do some free work in the beginning, learn as you go, but just do it. And I feel like I've had a lot of friends in the past who've talked so much about starting up businesses that were actually really great ideas, but again, like never did it because they almost kind of like talked so much about it that they talked themselves out of it because it was like,
Mm,
well, I don't have a business license and I can't afford to, incorporate yet and I don't have any clients and I don't have all of these things all at once in this whole extravagant business plan put together. So I can't do it.
hmm.
And it's like, well, nobody starts out,
Having everything.
yes, like having everything right in front of them. It's just like these little building blocks, right? Or it's like,
Right.
how do you climb Mount Everest? It's one step at a time, right? It's the same concept. Just do what you can when you can do
Same
it.
principle, yeah.
You don't have to be the best. I'm not the best photographer. I'm not the best editor. I'm not the most talented person. Like a lot of it, like I really focus on the experience. I'm selling the experience. I'm taking care of people. If you can make people feel valued and also truly care and value them.
Right,
I'm
right,
not
right.
saying like just fake that. Like it has to
Right.
be genuine. Like,
Exactly.
but like it matters. It
Hmm.
matters how you treat people. I can't even tell you. Sorry, I feel like I keep getting dark on this podcast. Or
No,
like,
I
I'm
love
like,
it.
let me tell you the spooky things. But like the amount of like funerals that I have gone to, like for clients, like, their dad passed away or this person or people I photographed, like who, I've known for many years, like they're so shocked when I show up at the funeral. Like I've had so many people like, oh my God, like it was so touching that you came. I would not have expected you to come here, because I'm not like a close friend or family. And I'm like, I know, but like, I love you. I care about you. I know you. Like, I knew this person. Like, I care. I care about
Right.
the people I work for. Like, genuinely, I actually have a vested interest in their life,
Yeah, no, that is
Yeah.
true.
And a lot of times, because too, like, I've really, like, a lot of these people, like, I've been photographing them since they were, like, little tiny kids, and now they're getting married or whatever, like, because I've been in it 15 years. So, like, they've grown with me. Like, I've seen you through all your milestones, right? Like, might not like know you, but like I kind of know you. Like I know you enough to
Yeah.
like you and care about you. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, just like care about the people you're working for, and also have like a heart of servitude, right? Like is that a word? Servitude, service.
Servitude is
I
a
don't know.
word, but I don't know. Yeah.
Have a go at it with a heart of service. Maybe that's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
I'm just making up words here, but yeah, like
Pulling up
like how.
dictionary here.
Right, I'm like, please hold Google. But yeah, like how can I serve this person today? And that is truly like how I go into a lot of these shoots and especially weddings. And I know this might sound tacky, but like I swear to God, like I sit in my car and pray before every wedding. Like I really do. Like I'm like, God, just like help me to like make this the best day for them. Like guide me through this. However I can like help out today. Like even if it's not with photography, again, maybe the bride's hair falls out and I need to step in or do
Right.
something or organize this or collect this family member. Like whatever the thing is, like I want to be worth my weight in gold, essentially,
Be
for
help.
them.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
Serve. Like,
yeah.
yeah.
Serve, yeah,
If you're not doing it genuinely, it shows.
yeah,
It
yeah.
shows through the photos,
Yes,
through the video.
it
It
does.
really shows.
It does. And I've worked with so many vendors that I can very much tell they're just like, okay, I'm clocking in and I'm clocking out. Like there is
Yes.
no passion. There's
Right.
nothing, and like you're not memorable.
No.
Sorry,
No,
like,
yeah. It's just a
like,
facade. It's like,
yeah, you
okay,
were
like,
just there.
we're
You were just
here,
there.
bye, thank you, bye. Like,
Yeah.
no. If your current younger Mikayla was coming into the room, if she were to walk in, what kind of a message would you tell her?
Unpopular advice. Don't listen to your parents.
Oh boy.
I love my parents. I do. They were my biggest critics, and I don't even want to say it was like constructive criticism. It was just criticism, you know, like criticism. Mostly from my mom, to be honest. I was really shot down a lot of times. And again, I hope that it was from a good place of like she just didn't want to see me fail or struggle or whatever. And in the beginning stages, I think sometimes I may have let her get in my head a little bit more than I should have, you know. I think by the time I was a teenager, maybe it was like that angsty teen in me. I was just like, okay, whatever, you know, like I don't know, but yeah, I
I'm
mean,
old enough.
yeah, but again, like I said, being a people pleaser, and I was that way as a kid. Like I just wanted to make my mom happy. I wanted to make people happy. I didn't want them to think lowly of me. You know?
Right.
Yeah.
Don't listen to your parents.
Don't listen to your parents.
Well, listen, but
I mean, listen, but don't listen. Take everything with a grain of salt. Maybe that's what I'm
Exactly.
trying to say.
Yes.
Yeah.
No, I
Yeah.
love that
Because only
advice.
you really know yourself best. You know?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So where can people find out more about you?
Sure. I'm not great at social media. I'm so sorry. I'm working on it. But Facebook, Instagram, my website, it's all Capture the Canvas Photography.
Capture the canvas.
Mhm.
Okay.
It's just never something I invested a lot of time into because it wasn't like, it's never been like a necessity for me. Like for my business, like I've just had so much word of mouth. I've never like needed to do extra stuff on there, but I know it is the way of the world, and it's, you know, in order to grow, I need to grow
We
those
have to catch
platforms.
up.
Yeah. What I really need is like a Gen Zer to run it for me because I'm old and I'm not cool and I don't
Can
know
you get
what the
two,
kids
one
want.
for me as well?
I know, honestly. If there's any
Like-
Gen Zers
like
out there
really.
who want to
Like
who wanna run this.
I would like to end the show with these remarks. I have so much fun actually.
I had so much fun with you. And again, I know I told you this off the air like multiple times, but thank you so much for creating this platform, especially for the local community,
It's
the backbone of America, small businesses. But yeah, I think it's great. I think it's just
Thank you.
wonderful what you're doing. And
Thank you.
I mean, even though like Plainfield, it's not small, but it's not big. Like it's kind of in between. But there's so many other business owners that like we don't know each other. So it's nice for us to
Absolutely.
connect this way and learn about each other.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Learn everybody's stories, like each
Yeah.
other's stories,
Mhm.
because, like we said, that's why people come back to any of us, right? Like
Yeah.
because they feel like they know us.
Absolutely.
So that's again, thank you for coming. Thank you for
Thank
these
you.
nice words.
Thank you.
It's a pleasure to have you, and I would love to have you in the future again
Oh,
one
I will
day
so come
to
back.
do like a catch up kind of thing.
Especially,
You know,
yeah, I get to sit on this comfy couch again,
We'll
have my
have you
bottles of
assistant
water, my
there.
little snackies over there. I would love it.
with an assistant, like you know, like,
Oh yes. I'll have my cat come with me next time, and she can like powder me up in
Or that.
between. Touch-ups here.
Awesome. If Mikayla's story inspired you, make sure that you subscribe and share it with somebody, again, to inspire their day as well. And I will catch everybody in the next episode.
And P.S. Don't listen to your parents.
And P.S. Don't listen to your parents.